Good afternoon, everybody. Today, we're going to be exploring Dashboard in the Classic product. Many of you are familiar with that application as it's been the landing page for our application for many years. Today, I'm going to guide you through the process of setting up and configuring widgets, exploring drill down capabilities, and addressing a few administrative tasks. Now, as always, there's going to be time for Q&A following this presentation, where you can ask questions regarding today's topics or our application in general. Let's have some quick webinar housekeeping statements. First of all, as always, my chat section is disabled, so just utilize the Q&A section. My partner in crime, Veronica, as always, will be monitoring that section, and we'll bring up anything you might have in the moment that's asked. Secondly, once the presentation's over, you'll be able to unmute yourself, but we ask that you utilize the hand raise function so that we can call upon people in the order that was received. And then lastly, as something I've changed a little bit, where I normally stop the recording, I'm going to keep the recording going up until I end it. However, none of those questions will be part of the end recording that goes on our site. I use that just for me to be able to refer back to anything that was asked. And if I need to follow up with you, it's a lot easier for me to look at the notes and see that. So keep in mind, yes, it was still recorded. No, those questions will not be saved anywhere. I mean, like, it's not going to be on our website or whatever. So, all right. So hopefully that answers some questions. Let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go ahead and switch on over. Now we're in our Classic product. So as a reminder, you can still get to Classic. I know that with the latest user management module that was put out, a lot of people were like, how do I get back to Classic? How do I get to my reports? That kind of stuff. It all still exists. So I can demonstrate that. I would have to log out, which I can do. So let me go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and have me log in. Now I have to log in a little differently just because I don't have like emails to your guys' domain. So I'm going to log in to the product. So it will bring me to like what you guys are used to now, where we logs us into ISI Analytics. To get to Classic, we're going to go ahead and click on this icon here in the upper right-hand corner. If you are experiencing any issues with being able to go to Classic, please put in a support ticket letting us know that that is the case. We do have a few customers that are experiencing the ability to not be able to get over to Classic, and we're addressing those fairly quickly, and it is kind of a top priority. But if you are having that experienced issue, just put in a support ticket, or at the end of the session, raise your hand and tell me, and I can also add you to the list of people that are affected. So, okay, so we have now logged into Classic dashboard. Okay, now the first things first, the dashboards. What are dashboards? What do they represent to you? And how I always describe it as they're widgets. They're little widgets that kind of give you windows into your data, and they're unique to you. So whatever you build here isn't something that is going to be changed by other people. Nobody else can see your information unless you want them to. So there are some settings to share widgets out that you've created, and I'll demonstrate that in a few moments. But let's first, so right now, all these widgets that I have loaded here may not match yours because these are mine. And I have a drop down here that talks to me about how many different dashboards I can create, which is 3. I can create 3 dashboards. So I have the ability to create up to 2 new dashboards. And like I said, they're unique to you. So whatever you add here is yours. So I have some default widgets here that I've added in. Some 2 daily call statistics widgets. One is the Microsoft Teams, one is our WebEx environment, and then I have a call handling and a top people widget. Now, all of these widgets can custom like change, like you can go in and edit these, and I'll get to that in a moment. But let's actually start out with creating a new dashboard and creating new widgets so you can kind of see how that process, and then we can go into editing them. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm just going to go ahead and go to new dashboard, and we're just going to make a quick new dashboard, and we're going to call this office hours. I can copy all the widgets from an existing dashboard, but I'm not going to do so. I'm going to make a blank dashboard. And so creating this, and I know I keep repeating myself, this office hours is never going to show up in anyone else's account because this is just mine. So nobody else will see this. You'll see welcome to dashboard with the plus symbol here to start. You can do so by clicking the plus and add a widget. Creating a custom widget is to do it absolutely from scratch, no settings whatsoever. I don't particularly like doing that with widgets. I love using an existing template. So I'll add a widget, and you'll see here that we have quite a few provided widgets. These widgets come standard with the system, and you'll notice above that there are some that are private. That's because those are the 4 widgets I have already on my main dashboard, and it just shows me that I've already have those created and that they are private. Okay. If I had shared any widgets out to the organization, you would also see those here. Or if other people have shared some widgets, you would also see those here, which we do not currently. So, and sharing can only be done by an administrator. So an admin or a dashboard administrator only out for the user. Not every user in your system can create a shared widget. So let's go ahead and add in a couple of my favorites. We're going to do alarms. We're going to go ahead and do daily call statistics. I'll do daily activity by organization. I like doing long duration calls as well. We'll do call handling. It's another great one. And top people is another one. There's all kinds that you can add. All of these are templates, so you can add any of these that you want to the dashboard. And if you don't like them, just delete them. Or if you don't, you want to modify them, modify them. These will always be a part of your account, and you cannot override them. I could actually add in 6 or 7 daily call statistics from the default and modify every single one of them for my needs. So just keep adding them back in, and yeah, you'll always have these available for you to use. So we're gonna go ahead and push OK. And you'll see here a couple of them will show up where they're basically going out trying to find information, and that's fine. It usually takes, I would say, for most systems, about 3 to 10 seconds on average to get new data. For more widgets or larger systems, or maybe heavy server days, maybe a little bit longer. But if it's really long, we're talking like minutes long, I would reach out. There might be something we need to look in, and maybe there's something, maybe you had a lot of history in the different widgets or something like that. So just let me know if you were experiencing a very long load time for any of those widgets. You can see here that the daily call statistics one is taking a minute to load, and that's fair. It actually has a couple different, that's why it's looking for data source 3, which does not exist. I will need to select which data source I want to see. And I'll show you that because I went a little too quick. So I'm going to click WebEx, and it's going to now refresh with the WebEx data, and there we go. So you can see here at the bottom that we're looking at WebEx data. You can see here there are selectables within the widgets to change options. So for example, daily activity by organization has an organizational tab. And so I could go further down into the department structure to look at that information. Like I said, data source allows me to look at different data sources. I can technically put both if I wanted to see my Microsoft and WebEx data together as one graph, which I'm going to do here. And then we've got also this call handling by organization. You'll also notice on this one that it does have a date drop down, and because it's going to show you, I think, 8 days worth of information. And so you could go back and look at a different date worth of call records, and it does adjust. Or you can actually look at all 8 days and do all and see call handling based on the hours for that full 8 days worth of information. Okay. Now that's just some quick basic surface things that we can do. I'll talk about some other quick tips and tricks about how to move or modify these widgets. One of them is going to be to move them. Yes, we have the arrow keys, and that will move it left to right. Or if you click on it again, it'll move it to the bottom left and keep going. Or you can just click, drag, and drop what you want to move, drop it in, and everything else adjusts around it. Okay. Clicking on the gear here is going to bring up a lot more options that you can do within these widgets. So I've gone ahead and did the settings for the daily call statistics widget, and you have a lot of features inside. You can change the graphing style. So if you'd rather change this to be a line graph, you certainly can do so. If you want to, right now we're not showing the data of this particular widget, so let's go ahead and click on Show Data, and you'll notice that a slider bar appears. You can actually slide down and see the value of calls in the date, the direction, count, duration, and even costing if you're utilizing that portion of our product. You could hide that graph altogether and just show the data, or show both, whatever you wanted to do. So one feature that I don't think is widely used by a lot of people, but I think is very handy when it is needed, if you happen to be showing this data maybe at a meeting or something like that, and there's certain widgets you don't want to showcase during that meeting, but you don't want to have to create a whole new dashboard for that, or whatnot. You can actually just hide widgets. So if I hide this daily call statistics, it is now no longer visible on this dashboard. And to bring those hidden widgets back, you just click on the little eyeball symbol that is located here. And you're going to see here that you can hide and show any widgets that you would like to at any time by doing that. And now I've hidden 2 widgets and they're no longer show until I go in and reselect those. Okay. Resizing is pretty self-explanatory. It does give you a percentage, so you can make this a lot bigger by going 100% double the height, and that would blow that widget up, or you can shrink it small to fit more widgets on. By say like giving it 33, you could get 6 widgets on this page by shrinking them all down to that size. Okay. Right. Copy, move, and delete, pretty self-explanatory. I can copy this widget to another dashboard or the existing dashboard I'm already on. So if I wanted to make some significant changes to this widget, but didn't want to mess with the original because I like the way that it is, I could easily call it something else, push OK, and you'll see at the bottom here, this new widget that I made a copy of is now present, and I can go ahead and click on the gear and go ahead and edit this widget to start making changes. And so let's do that. Let's go ahead and edit this widget. Editing the widget is very simple. It's very similar to our reports. You're going to see there's a layout tab, the constraints tab. So if you're used to making reports in our system, this is pretty standard to that. You can go ahead and make your query on what you're looking for. This particular widget is specifically showing 30 days for all of the data sources, for all the directions of calls. Maybe you want to modify this to be a permanent widget. So let's go ahead and turn it to none. Let's add a constraint, which here are all your query constraints. And for this one, maybe I want to do a data source. Maybe I want to hard code the data source into this specifically to be just the WebEx data. And then I'll come to layout and we will change this to say 30-day WebEx calls. I don't need costing, so here's some data elements you can take out of the report that we saw earlier. One of them was costing. Let's remove that. I don't even need total duration on this one. I just want to see the direction and counts. And again, here is the options to change what kind of graphing style you're looking for, so we can modify that back to a stacked bar graph. You can change the axis label intervals, all kinds of interesting stuff. When the widget loads initially, you can say, hey, I want it to be a graph, or I want it to be data, or both. And then lastly, before I save this widget, you do have the ability, if you're an administrator, to share this out as a clone for other people to utilize. So sharing it does not allow other users to modify your widget, like your personal widget. No, it's going to create a template, much like the other defaulted templates in our system that other people can utilize based on what you've set here. So if you're trying to set somebody else up for success to have a widget that will basically be ready to go upon login, you can create this as a template for them to utilize and so forth. So you can share that. I won't do that currently. And then we're going to go ahead and save, which is what I like to demonstrate or call the stack of pancakes here in the upper right-hand corner. This icon is the save icon. We're going to go ahead and push that save and close. And you're going to see here in a moment that 30 days WebEx calls is now going to display the information based on the changes we've made in a permanent structure. It will not have the data source selector because we turn that feature off. We're specifically saying, hey, I only want to see one data source. And here it is now missing. It does say there's 30-day WebEx, and we have the data. Okay. Couple of the features that a lot of people don't know exists within the widgets is the ability to drill into your data. Now, I know previously in a different office hours session, we did talk about call expiration and how you can kind of drill into information using call expiration. This feature does the same thing. It's actually going to launch into call expiration and showcase that information. So as an example, let's take a look at the 85 inbound calls that happened on July 29th. You can hover over that. You can see the number of calls. And when I click on it, it will launch into call expiration. And it will, if we had a built out directory for this particular setup, it would actually show who picked up those calls. So because I don't have a directory for this particular system that I'm in, it does say unassigned, but if it didn't, then if I clicked on here, you would see the different extensions, which I'm gonna zoom in just a little bit. You can see the different extensions that are picking up those calls. You can see the phone numbers that are taking those calls. You can see the time and date, the duration, where those calls originate from. Again, something like costing and account codes are hard coded, but ring time are important. So 18-second ring time, these two calls were abandoned, and if the calls had a transfer, which we've talked about in call expiration, I do recommend checking out that previous call expiration office hours video that's on our website to kind of go over that data. I don't need to cover all this here. So we're going to close out of that to go back to the widgets. Okay. And I think the last thing that I would want to talk about is the administrative features of widgets. The one thing that I don't really talk about in the training session, which, I only have so much to talk, only so much time to talk about. This little three dots dashboard settings only appears with the all dashboard option if you're a dashboard administrator. And what this does, if we go to configure this, is it allows you that when a new user is created, their default dashboard will have the chosen widgets, okay? And you can only do a max of 10. So you can select out of all of these what widgets automatically show up on a brand new user's account when they log in for the first time. So if you've done some shared widgets that, if you've done some shared widgets that are the ones I talked about earlier that you've created for your end users to set them up for success on the things that they're going to need, and you've created those widgets and you've shared them out, they would be in this list and you could select that. But keep in mind, it will be for all new users. So keep that in mind. Every new user that gets in a new account will have those widgets. You can't set them for these groups or these groups. It's for blanket for all. So keep that in mind. So I'm going to close that out. I don't want to save that. Did it save that? Okay, cool. Save and close. We're good. Is there last thing? Anything else I need to really discuss? Oh, I guess there was more information on the three dots. You do have the ability to change the dashboard names during, at any time. So if I wanted to change it from office hours, you can set that as your default. So when you log in, that is the default dashboard that it will log into. And then lastly, you can delete a dashboard to get rid of it altogether. So if you no longer need it and the information or the widgets on it, you go ahead and delete it.